Hello everyone. Today we will be looking at some of the key features of CloudBridge, the AXON-2-CDGC accelerator from Incept Data Solutions. So this would be the second part of the video. So what we have here are some of the key features of the tool, which we had gone through in our earlier video too. Today we will be focusing on the API functionality. To do a brief recap of the earlier one, we had used Excel to import data from AXON, and then to migrate that over to CDGC. We had seen this in detail in our earlier video. Today, we will be focusing on using the API functionality. So using the API functionality, we would have to populate the URL for the AXON environment, the username, password for that environment that we would like to migrate the data assets from. So going over to the tool, AXON Data Governance tool. Today we will be migrating datasets, systems, and glossary. So we will begin with glossary. So these are the glossary objects that we'll be migrating over using API. So go to the CloudBridge tool, click on API, and follow the wizard, populate the URL, username, password, select the main facet as glossary, and the type as domain, and the location where we would like the Excel to be stored. That will have the objects that we're trying to migrate over. Once you have saved the location, so my object has been migrated over, so we're going to open the Excel file to look at the objects. So these are the objects that we are migrating over, domain objects. So we go into CDGC right now. We click on Import Assets, and we locate the file where we have the domains that we want to migrate over, and we upload them. And we do the necessary mapping. We select the objects as domain because that's what we are migrating right now. Once the mapping is done and the tool accepts it, we will start the import process. CDGC specifies that it has identified 4 domains that needs to be migrated over from Excel. The stats are accurate, so we continue with the process. We wait for the job to get started in CDGC. So CDGC is uploading the Excel where we have migrated over the AXON objects, the domain objects. And the process is complete right now. Now we're going to go into CDGC and look at the objects that we just migrated. So we look at the domains. And we can see that domains, they look accurate. So they are good. So we're going to go back. So the case 1 is completed. The case 2, or scenario 2, we're going to go to scenario 2 right now. So in scenario 2 in AXON and CDGC, we're going to migrate over data sets. And this system, this is slightly more nuanced. The nuance here is there is a relationship between the data sets and system. And also there's a lot more attributes to it. So we will have the relationship between these two, that is the data sets and the system, migrated over. And what is the relationship? You can see it here on AXON. Within each of the system, that one system has about 10 data sets. That is the relationship, and the kind of relationship and the various meta attributes are detailed here. Okay, so we select API. We are going to set main facet as system, secondary as dataset. Again, system main and dataset as secondary. And this type of relationship we define as semantic. Again, this is a new functionality in CDGC. We would advise you to select semantic for the most part. Once you have done it, this association would be carried over. Association and also the adjacent relationships would be migrated over to CDGC. We choose the path where we need this saved, the Excel file. The process is complete. We open the Excel file and we can see three tabs: the main objects, the related objects, and the relationship. In main objects, we see the 10 data sets that we are migrating over. And the relationship, we see the relationship, the semantic relationship that we have, a semantic system relationship we have associated right there. And in the earlier was related objects. In the relationship tab, we have the relationships themselves between the system and the data sets defined. These three tabs are mandatory for the migration process to CDGC, and the tool will do them. So now we go into the tool, CDGC. We again go through the same process, click on Import Assets, and we import the Excel file where the relationships are that the CloudBridge tool migrated over. We locate the file, we import it, we do the mapping exercise. But the nuance here is the main object is system, secondary object is the dataset. Sorry, not. We click on the mapping exercise, go through the process. We've identified close to 30 objects, 20 plus 10. Get the job started. The job is getting started in CDGC. So the validation process is taking some time in CDGC. So the Excel file is being validated right now, and it got uploaded successfully. 30 objects have been identified and imported into CDGC from AXON. So let's validate the objects that got migrated. We click on the data sets and we see the relay information has been successfully migrated over. Now let's look at the relationship, the key part. And it looks like the relationship between the system and the data set is also successfully migrated and it's also accurate. So we click on the system and we see 10 data sets associated with that system. So we have validated the relationship from both the sides, from both the dataset side and the system side. And the count of the objects are also accurate. Thank you.